Whoa! What are you looking at me so close for? Oh, I forgot what I was doing for a second. Sorry, everybody. So this is Mr. Keenan coming to you live from the shop. It's going to be really interesting to see how everything kind of turns out right now. We have rain pouring down outside right now. By the time you see this, it will be November 10th. 47 years ago today, in 1975, the Edmund Fitzgerald sank. There is a song that I guarantee my brother, even though he's in South Carolina, will probably play the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald tomorrow. Or when you guys see this, when you guys will see this, he'll be playing it today. So here's the situation. I am up at school. It is 8:34 at night. It is November 9th. At the very end of the day today, for those who are not in sixth grade, the 7th and 8th graders don't know this. My daughters both had to be taken. They're fine. They just are running through this virus that they got going on that is going to make it so they can't go to daycare today. So I will be at home with them today. When I'm speaking about this, I'm speaking as if you guys were with me, or that I'm with you when you were in class. Right now, this is the day before that, or the night before that. So when you see this, I will be at home with my daughters today. Before I move on, I want to say this to whoever is subbing. Please call me if you have any questions. I can definitely answer the phone. I'll leave my number with the sub plans, and you can definitely give me a holler. You don't need to share it with kids because I don't need to be prank called. Sorry, silly kids. You don't need to prank call me, but we're going to be doing that. So here's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you guys the old version. So this is the old version right here of the measurement unit. And I talked to some of you about this yesterday, and I might have talked to each of the classes that I took some of the feedback that the students gave me from the first quarter, and I revamped it, and you're going to definitely see a difference from some similarities, some major similarities, and some major differences with the new and improved document that I created to help us out with the measurement unit. Because of how busy everybody's going to be today on November 10th, I promised Ms. Pardoon that I would try to make it so it would be seamless. I've taught this stuff a lot, so it should go relatively easily. For most of you, you have seen this at least once. Some of you might have seen it twice. The 8th graders, you should have seen this stuff twice. With the 7th graders, you guys didn't get a chance to review the front side of the print that we started with, that sort of a diagnostic test for me. It'll give me a good idea of how well the measurement unit's going to go. And I'm honestly, don't feel bad. Don't feel like you should get a big head. You guys are exactly where I kind of expected you to be, because you're kind of falling in line with where the rest of your class has been. So right now, I'm going to try to flip this thing around so that the document camera will be looking down on the papers. And I've got another 50 copies brewing right now in the copy room. I made 30 copies right here. So there's 30 copies here. This is for the 8th grade. There are another 50 copies for the two classes, of 7th graders that I had. The 6th graders already started this because they started it yesterday when I had to run my daughters to the doctor to confirm what they had. And so you 6th graders, you guys have already got to jump on this. And hopefully the things that I will kind of go through and help you guys get through here will be something that will help clarify things if you need it. I don't really want to spend more than, let's say, half an hour, and I think I've already been talking for like 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set my watch to 15 minutes. And when this timer goes off, right now I just started my timer. So when this timer goes off, it's going to be time to end the lesson. So you guys should be able to get through. But this should get the ball rolling down the hill, so to speak, so that you should be able to start tackling what's in here. I've sort of made it. I put directions on the top of most pages. As I say that, there's no directions on this one. But some of you guys should know about the equivalent fractions. This is the first 2 pages I'm definitely going to go through together with you guys to make sure that you have it. And don't work ahead. If you work ahead, you might mess up. So please don't work ahead. Okay. Sorry you had to see my nose. So big. So what do we do to improve it? Let's flip this document camera over. And yes, I do have electrical tape on my thumb. I will have electrical tape on my thumb periodically. It is honestly the best protection for cuts and things that you get. In my opinion, it actually helps things heal faster because I'm going to see if I can't get I don't know if the light is on. Yeah, there's a light. So now the light is on. I don't know if it helps or not. We'll see how she goes. But I think, so what I like about electrical tape is it's kind of gross. I don't want you to be grossed out by my wound on my thumb. But I think it keeps the skin moist and it helps generate new skin tissue rather than having it dry out. Okay. So before we look at this, what is the difference between these 2 packets? Time is ticking, Keenan. You only got 13 minutes left. 13 minutes and some change. Oh, it's upside down. So I need to go like this. I'm getting used to this document camera. It was given to me this year by some generous 8th grade teachers. Hopefully it will focus. I wonder if I go like this. Will it focus it if I go like this? Autofocus. That's what AF means. When I say I'm hot AF, I'm hot autofocus. That's what it must mean. Huh. Okay, here we go. That was a joke to some people who might get my humor. Here we go. So, what do you notice the difference between these 2 packets? Oh my goodness, look at that. There's a 6th grade version. So this is the exact same as this copy. This copy has it's exactly the same on every single page except the second to last page. So if we open this up right here like this, so you guys can see what this page is, and if I open this other copy up to what should be the last page, you can notice that they are different. My camera work might suck. We're going to see how it goes. It's just weird because right now, to me, it would look like that is upside down, but it's not. That is correct. But so this is if I turn the page right here, you can see that they are literally, these are both the back pages of each one. I took out the tolerance or these fraction, the points that get subtracted if there's a tolerance on your project. And 8th graders are really the only ones that do this. But as I've said before, I like to use a similar packet or a similar material, especially when it comes to the measurement unit, so that it will be, each time you do it over and over again, the more confident you're going to get, because it should be second nature to you once you're done with this. Okay. I have developed a few things. I've been teaching for about 10 years now, and I've developed some things about the measurement unit that I feel is pretty effective when it comes to teaching students. The first thing I would do when I'm talking about teaching students is I would do this. Put your name on there. I'm going to put Mr. Keenan. And if I was in a grade, I don't know what grade I would be in, but I'm going to say 6th, 7th, and 8th. Okay, you guys put whatever grade it corresponds to you, but I'm going to put all 3 of them because those are the 3 grades that I teach. For your hour, I'm just going to put second hour because that's what we're going to start with tomorrow. You put your hour down for your hour that your class is. So we have 7th grade second hour, we have 7th grade 4th hour, we have 8th grade 5th hour, and we have 6th grade 7th hour. And that's how that works. So the date for you guys is going to be 11-10-22. Okay. So before we get into this packet, why the heck did I do this? I was sort of thinking, metaphorically speaking, or symbolism, I guess you might say. What is the symbolism to what we have here? We have a building where we make things, building and making things, on top of a foundation of a measurement unit. This measurement unit is going to be the foundation to anything that we are going to create. Without having knowledge of measurement, we won't be able to build anything because we need things to fit together. We need things to be the same size so that they are able to go together. And so I have this quote right here that I often say. It doesn't matter how fast or slow we go. And I don't really often say it. I say it often when I talk about the measurement unit. But it doesn't matter how fast or slow we go. It'll be difficult to build anything if we don't understand measurement. Why is that? Why would it be difficult to build something if we don't understand measurement? Let's pause the video for a second and see if we can't figure it out. Okay, hopefully we're back. Hopefully you had a discussion about things going together, things fitting together. We need things to be the same size, and we need to be consistent when we are measuring our sizes so that they end up going together and matching the sides as we go through there. So when we are building things, I'm going to keep talking as I'm going through. We're talking about our first project or first choice of projects that we have with the, so I can't do this so you guys can see it. So when we are doing this, we need to make sure that we have a consistent edge or a consistent width from the side transitioning into a bottom, or making sure that if we were to look at this, I need to flip this so it's upside down. I need to pop this like this. So if we were to look at this, if we were to look at the way that the edges curve down here, that our taper will stop at the top of this shoulder. So you need to know about measurement in order to get things to fit together to make it work together. Okay, I'm going to try to not give anybody seasick, but we'll see how she goes. Again, I don't use this document camera that often, but hopefully we'll be good. I really shouldn't have put sixth grade here because I have a version that's already set aside for sixth graders, which they already have. AF, autofocus. There we go. So there's already a version for sixth grade. We have a foundation of measurement in order to build things. That's what we need to do. We're going to open it up to the first page. Please, please, please do not work ahead of me. Holy cow, I only got 6 minutes left. So one of the things that I've talked about several times for everybody is that I want to try to use something that you already know. Almost every single person in here has probably cut up a frozen pizza at one point or another. And if you use the concept of cutting up a frozen pizza, you're going to be able to draw out a ruler. And if you can draw out a ruler, number one, it'll help you understand how a ruler is broken down. Number two, it will make it so that anytime you need it, you can make a cheat sheet at any moment like this or like that. That's better. I can't snap very good with my left hand. Okay, so the way that I have this set up is that we have a whole inch. We're not going to do anything to this other than we need to identify that it's a whole inch. I could put 7 and I could put 8 over here. I could put 17 and 18. It doesn't matter what numbers I put here as long as what? Somebody say it? They're 1 digit apart. Exactly right. If somebody said it, good job. So we just need to make sure that they are 1 digit apart, 7 and 8. Don't need to do anything else. This is 1 whole inch. It's all we have to do. How many slices do you have when you take a pizza out of the oven, it's ready to be cut up? How many slices do you have if you just eat the pizza without cutting it? You ate 1 slice. If you eat the whole thing without cutting it, you can get away with saying you ate 1 slice. Okay? So for those that have cut up a pizza, what's the first thing that we do when we cut up a pizza? What's that? We cut it down the middle? Yes, that's right. We're going to cut it right down the middle. When we're creating a ruler, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to divide this up in the middle. Wait a minute. How do we know that these are all 1-inch segments? Let's write 7 and let's write 8. 7, 8. What if we did 3 and we did 4? That would work. Could we do 6 and 8 over here? Nope, that wouldn't work because it's 2 digits apart. We need to be 1 digit apart. 6 and 7. So now if we look at these are all 1 digit apart. This means that these all must be 1-inch segments. So now that we have the 1-inch segment thing taken care of, the first thing we did when we cut up our pizza, we created 2 slices with that. We are going to divide this 1-inch segment in half. So what you're going to do is, I like to draw down from the top. And you're going to find your middle. Whenever you're dividing these in half, when you're dividing your pizza in half, you're going to try to be as close to the middle as you can. Just like this. And I'm going to try to go down almost all the way, but not quite all the way when I'm doing this one. What did I do when I cut this in half? I made it 2 slices. If we were to count this, we would say that this is 1 of 2 total slices. The top number identifies which number in those slices we're at. The bottom number is going to identify the total number of slices in our whole group that we are working with. When we get down to the next one, we already know the first step. We're going to cut it in half. What's the next one you say? Oh, you cut that in half again. Okay, buena idea. So we're going to go like this. We're going to first do our 1-inch segment. We're going to find our middle. We're going to cut it in half. We're going to mark this a half. Then we're going to cut our half in half. So find your middle between your whole inch and your half-inch mark. We're going to make this line a little bit shorter. Then you're going to go between your half-inch line and your next whole inch. And we're going to cut that in half. How many pieces do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pieces. That means that this first one should be 1 over 4. If we were to mark this out and only labeling fourths, this would be 1/4, 2/4. But we don't label this 2/4 because 2/4 is not the most reduced fraction. So we go from 1/4 to 1/2. So 1/4, 2/4. This will be 3/4 over here. 1/4, 2/4, which is the same as 1/2, and then 3/4. If you went to the very end, this would be 4/4, which would make it a whole inch. Okay? So you already know your first 2 steps. You're going to cut your pizza in half. Then you're going to cut your pizza in half again. On this step, we need to get to 8 slices. So we're going to cut all of these sections in half, just like this. So first I'm going to find my middle. I'm going to cut this one in half. I'm going to label this as I go. Then we're going to cut each of those sections in half. We're going to cut this first section in half. We're going to find our middle, come down, stop when you're a little bit shorter. When I do this next one, I'm going to stop at the same length wherever I set this one over here. So now I'm going to label this one 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, just like that. Now I need to cut each of these sections in half. Now please watch how I do this. When I'm cutting on the 1/8 and the 16th, I'm going to do it the exact same way. I'm going to start from the middle. I'm going to work my way out and get to here. Then I'm going to work from either left to right or right to left. It doesn't matter which way you go. I'm going to start here. I'm going to cut this segment in half. Then I'm going to move to the next one and cut the next segment in half. Move to the next one, cut the next segment in half. To the next one, cut the next segment in half. Now these are all going to be 1/8. The first one we should know is going to be 1/8. 2/8, which is the same as 1/4. 3/8. 4/8, which is the same thing as 1/2. 5/8. 6/8, which is the same thing as 3/4. 7/8. Okay? Oh, shoot. Does that look right? 1, 3, 5. Yeah, it is! Oh my gosh, I just figured out a pattern. Do you guys see this pattern that's going on over here? Right there. What's going on with this pattern? Keep that thing from shaking. 1, 3, 5, 7. Well, they're all odd numbers. We skip every 2. If the top number is odd, it cannot be reduced farther than that. If the top number is an even number that could be divided by 2, it could be reduced. That's one of the things, it's one of the common things that we're going to talk about as we're going through this. Now, we started, let me bring this back up here like this so I can kind of see all of it. We started with 1 slice, and then we went to 2 slices, then we went to 4 slices, then we went to 8 slices. Each time, our slice count is doubling. So if we had 1, 2, 4, 8. The next one, if it doubles, is then going to end up being 16 slices. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to cut this in half. Then we're going to cut our ruler in half. Then we're going to cut this in half. Then we're going to cut each of our ruler sections in half. So I should have a half, and I should have a fourth. I should have a 3/4, because right now it's the same as everything else. Okay. At this point, we're going to stop labeling because it's going to be way too crowded to write all this stuff in. And I wouldn't even, you can label this stuff, but I wouldn't go any farther than that. So we're going to cut all of these in half. I'm going to ignore my 15-minute alarm so I can finish this page. So right now we have 1, 3, 5, 7. It looks like I'm going to break my rule, but I'll show you how we can make this fit. So I did 1, 3, 5, 7, and I did a /8/8/8/8/8. That's a shortcut on how you can make the eighths fit in there. So now what we're going to do for our slices is I'm going to cut each of these slices. I can't see what you're doing there, Keenan. Let's make it so you can see what you're doing. There you go. This is such a cool stand. I need to get used to it. So what I did was I cut all those in half, and then I went 1, 3, 5, 7/8/8/8/8/8. We're going to cut all of these slices of pizza in half because our pizza party got bigger. We invited, each one of us invited a friend, and we ended up eating 16 slices. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut all of these ones in half, and these are going to be just little short knobs like this. And in order to fit our labeling in here, when I usually teach this on the board up in the front of the classroom, I typically don't label the rest of the things that are in here because it does get too crowded. But we're going to do a way around that. So our shortcut to labeling the eighths was doing the odds first and then doing a /8 underneath all of those. We're going to use that same concept to quickly label the 16ths. Here we go. Count the odds with me. We're going to start at 1. 1, 3. Are you counting? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. What's this last one going to be? 1, 3, 5, 7, 11. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. This next one should be 15. Now to finish all these off, we just wrote the numerator down on all of these. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go /16, /16, /16, /16, /16, /16, /16, /16. Okay, we just did a shortcut, and this is the one page that we cram a lot of writing in a short space. Anything we do beyond this, from this point forward, you'll see that I've made the spaces a bit bigger in order to do that. Okay, so that went pretty fast. And what you guys need to do is hopefully you'll pause it as we run through these. When I go through the next page, I'm going to try to go a little slower. I'm trying to cram this in a short period of time. And I'm trying to speak clearly. I've taught this several times. I'm very, very sleepy. I'm very tired because I didn't go to sleep last night because of grades and with how hectic my life and weekend has been since last Friday. My daughters got sick and I had to tend to them, and then I had some pigs being born, and then I had some pigs being delivered to my house that I wasn't expecting. It was just a crazy weekend. So, not that I'm not grateful for all the craziness, because we had a lot of good things happen with it, but it just made it very, very busy. So next, if we need to pause it and go back and do any of those clips again with the whole inch, half, 1/4, 1/8, and 1/16, go ahead and do it. If you need to rewatch the 16th segment 80 times, do it. Whatever you need to do to get it so that you will be able to understand it, that's what you need to do. I'm going to be putting these videos on the Google Classroom. I will also be putting these videos on my YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll have it logged into the computer, so we'll be able to do that to make it work. But that's that. Next one we're going to do is we're going to go over this. I'm going to pause it for a sec. We're going to go over see if I can't autofocus, the AF. So I just shut the light off. Turn that back on. There we go. I think it's trying to focus, but I'm moving around a little bit. But we're gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna show you how to start page number 3. When you get to page number 3, you'll see that I already have a key at the top of each column for you to do, and From page 3 on, the instructions are at the top of the paper. Hopefully, I'll be able to explain a little bit of it just to get the ball rolling down the hill. But I wanted to make sure I went through page 1 and page 2 with you so that you would have an idea of what you're doing. Okay, we're going to pause it right here, and we'll pick back up with page 2 in a second. I don't know if I should stop it or not. Kind of have a unibrow, don't I? Pause. We'll stop it right there.